Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be playing with the brand new Nabla Cosmetics Secret Palette. I'm going to be showing you 3 looks that I created with this guy, including the one that I'm wearing right now. And if you've been keeping up with my videos lately, you'll know that I've been kind of like obsessing over this since I picked it up. I hauled it at the end of May along with a bunch of other products from Nabla. I had been wanting to try more from the brand for such a long time, but because they're an Italian brand, they're not sold in any US retailers, they're just a little bit more difficult to get your hands on unless you feel like paying a lot of money for shipping. So I sucked it up, I placed a big order. It's kind of like an early birthday present for myself because my birthday is next month. And I did film a video trying on all those products on camera for you guys. So if you missed it, you can watch it up here. I'll link it in the cards. So I do have 1 look already in that video, and then today I'm going to be showing you 3 more. So before we get into the looks, just a couple of things about this palette for you guys to know. So this guy retails for €39.90, which I think works out to about like 45 US dollars. This is what it looks like on the inside. It's super stunning. You get 15 shades in here, and they're in a number of different finishes. So you have some matte shades, you have some what they call fluid metal shades, which are kind of like your standard metallic, and then you have some kind of like crystallized and like diamond top coat shades, which basically are a little bit more flaky, chunky, but have like really intense shimmer to them. Nabla products are also cruelty-free and for the most part vegan. The only non-vegan ingredient they use is beeswax, and it's not in all of their products, so they just recommend you look at the specific ingredients list of each product to make sure it doesn't have beeswax in there if that's a concern of yours. So just so you guys can see the colors a little bit better, I will insert a clip with some swatches for you of this palette. For the most part, I feel like this entire palette swatches beautifully. Now these are finger swatches, not brush swatches, and you'll see in the looks that I create that these really do go on very well with a brush. In general, I find the super matte shades to be super smooth, super easy to blend, as well as the fluid metals. Those just glide across the skin so nicely. The crystally type of shades are a little bit more finicky. You kind of have to really smooth them out for them to be nice and even, but they look super stunning and have such a cool reflect to them. All right, so now that you guys are a little bit more well acquainted with this palette, let's jump into the 3 looks that I created. All right, so today I think what I'm gonna do is create more of like a pinky purple look. So I'm going to start out with the shade Julietta here, which is a matte pink, with my MOTD Cosmetics Seamless Sheer Blend brush, but really, I mean, you could just use any fluffy blending brush. So I'm going to buff this guy into my crease. Something I have realized lately, because my eyes are kind of deep set, pretty large, that I feel like a lot of times because I watch so many makeup tutorials, I don't bring my crease shade up high enough. You want it to basically be visible when you're staring straight ahead, like at least a little bit. So for me, that actually covers quite a bit of territory. And when I'm looking down is actually kind of almost above where I would expect my crease to be. So I have been trying to bring these shades up a little bit higher when I blend, so that way when my eyes are open, it like looks better. Next, I'm going to take a Sigma E35 blending brush in the shade Contigo, which is also matte, but this is a little bit deeper and a little bit more of a like rosy nude. And I'm going to put this just in the outer corners, just to create a little bit more dimension there. And I'll buff this right into the pink in the outer portion of my eye. I don't want to bring it too far, like I don't want to bring it really more than like past my pupil. I want to keep the inner part more pink than this rosy nude color. Then next I'm going to go in with the shade Big Experience here, which is a metallic like fuchsia-y pink. It's a really cool color. And I'm going to just swipe this on to the lid. Woohoo! Yeah, these fluid metal shades from Nabla, I feel like you can put them on with the brush, but they go on much more impactfully with a finger. There's some pink eyeshadow there. Then I'm kind of curious to see how this shade Fantasize picks up on one of these silicone blenders. This is more of a glittery kind of shade. It's not quite as pigmented. It's really sparkly and reflective, but I'm just wondering if I pat it on with something like this instead of a brush, will I maybe get a little less fallout? Maybe I'll be able to like build up the intensity. We'll see. I'm just gonna press and blend it onto the outer corner. I mean, I definitely feel like that worked. It certainly picked the shade up. Gonna go in with my E35 just to make sure that line isn't so harsh. Out of curiosity, I'll see what happens if I use my finger on the other side. Yeah, kind of equally effective. I feel like using a finger is using the silicone applicator. So if you're someone that has like long nails, you don't want to get your fingers dirty, I feel like these are super handy. But if you don't care about using your fingers, I mean, they're free, so they certainly work just as well for application of that shade. Next, I'm going to take a little pencil brush into this shade here called I Promise, which is kind of just like a light pearly pink, champagne-ish kind of shade. Gonna pop this into the inner corner. And I might take just like a teeny bit of Big Experience just to kind of blend the edge of those two colors together a little more seamlessly. Then I'm going to take my E45 small tapered blending brush from Sigma, and I'm going to go into the shade Julietta again, and I'm going to just blend that right along the lower lash line. And I'll probably take just a little bit more of Contigo again, also just kind of on the outer corner of the eye, not bringing it all the way to the inner corner, just to kind of elongate the shape of the eye. So I think it might be kind of cool to line my upper waterline with a blue eye pencil, just kind of pull out the bluish tones of that diamond shade I put on the outer corner. This is the Pixi Endless Silky Eye Pen in the shade Black Blue. I'm not gonna really line on the upper lid, just gonna kind of go right in the upper waterline just to kind of give my lash line a little bit of intensity. All right, so I'm just going to throw on some mascara and a lip, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, and here is the completed final look. I'm wearing the shade Tamar from Karity. This is one of their matte liquid lipsticks, and the mascara I used is the ColourPop BFF Volumizing Mascara. Not gonna lie, pretty impressed with how this is looking on my lashes, but it's still pretty new to me. I'm testing it out. So yeah, this is the pink and purple look I came up with. I think it's really pretty. It also was super easy and super fast to come together. I didn't really use too many shades. Technique-wise, it was pretty straightforward, pretty simple, but I feel like it definitely looks kind of dramatic and fun and really nice. All right, so for this look, I think I'm going to utilize more of the neutral shades in the palette, like aesthetic and hypersensual, and I'm thinking I'm gonna do a halo eye, maybe even like a cut crease halo eye, the way like Raw Beauty Kristi does it. I've never tried that before, so we'll see how it goes. I'm going to start by going into the shade Ghibli here with a Moda Metallics Crease Brush, and I'm just going to put that all through the crease of my eye. And since I'm ultimately going to create that halo shape, I want to make sure that I'm blending this crease transition all the way into the inner corner of my eye. Then next, on a Sigma E55 eye shading brush, I'm going to pick up the shade Mea Culpa. This is a pretty rich brown, so I'm going to start by just patting this on to the outer corner of the eye. And then I'm also going to apply some to the inner corner again to create that halo shape. And then I'll go in and kind of blend things out. I think I'm just going to kind of like gently connect the two sides with residual product. It's on my brush. And then again, going in with that crease brush to blend. All right, then I'm gonna take some of my Maybelline Fit Me Concealer and I'm gonna put it on the back of my hand so I can pick it up with a brush, and I'm using a Sigma cream color brush. This is an E58, which is a nice flat brush that I think will work well for cutting the crease. So I'm gonna drag straight down. Gonna try to remember how Christy does this when I watch her videos. I feel like usually people kind of blend the edges out a little bit. So next I'm going in with this, I think it's an eye shader from Moda. It's one of their metallics brushes. And I'm gonna go into the shade Aesthetic, which is kind of a satiny taupe color. And I'm going to put this right in the center. And then I also think I want to pick up some of this shade here on the other end. This one's called Romeo, which is a little bit of a deeper brown. And I'm going to put this kind of more on the edges to create a little bit of a gradient effect. I'm curious what happens if I just pick that shadow up with my finger. If it goes on any different. Maybe like a little more pigmented. Then I want to go back in with my eye shading brush, and again with the shade Mea Culpa, just to kind of blend and re-intensify. All right, and then what I think will like really make this look pop, I'm going to go into the shade Hypersensual on my finger, and I'm going to just tap this right onto the center of the lid. The shade has just such a pretty sparkle to it. All right, and then for the lower lash line, I'm going to go back into the shade Ghibli on my Sigma Small Tapered blending brush. And just gonna buff that onto the lower lash line from the outer corner all the way to the inner corner. Then I'm gonna pick up a little bit of Mea Culpa, and I'm gonna focus this just more on the outer corner. Picking up just a small little pencil brush, this is a Morphe E36, and I'm going to take the shade I Promise, which is the light kind of pinky champagne color. Just going to pop this into the inner corner as a highlight. I also think I'm going to take just a little bit of that shade up underneath the brow to highlight as well. Then I'm going to use my little Marc Jacobs Highliner Matte Gel Eye Crayon in black to tight line on my upper and lower waterline. Then I also want to quickly just put a little bit of gel eyeliner on my upper lash line. I'm going to use the Pretty Vulgar, the ink gel eyeliner with this Sigma small angle brush. You know what, actually now that I'm looking at my eyes with the eyeliner on, I think I want to take some of the shade Nah Black on just a really small, again, like little pencil brush. And I want to just buff this really close to the lower lash line just to kind of like soften where I put the black eyeliner in my waterline. I don't like it when it looks like you just have a straight up black line on your lower waterline. I feel like it looks really harsh and like unnatural. So just kind of smoking it out with a little bit of black shadow, I feel like really helps. So now I've just got to finish things off with mascara and lashes. I'm going to be using the Too Faced Damn Girl mascara. I just got this in PR, so I'm going to curl my lashes quick, put this on, and then I'm probably also going to go in with falsies. All right, so here's the look just with mascara. I do kind of feel like I could use falsies though because it's pretty intense and dramatic. So I have these ones from Kiss I might use. They're new, I got sent these from Influencer. They're the Naked Drama lashes in the style Tulle. So they look kind of more round and super fluffy. I don't know if it'll be too much, but we'll see. All right guys, so lashes are on. I also threw on a lip. I'm wearing the Becca Ultimate Love lipstick in the shade Dusk, which is a really pretty nude shade that I thought would just complement this super smoky eye really nicely. So yeah, I'm really digging this look. I think it's super pretty. It's very smoky, nighttime glam, and it's completely neutral, which is one of the nice things about this palette. It definitely does have some really beautiful pops of color, but there are also some really excellent staple neutrals in here that you can use to ground a look, or if you want to just create a completely neutral look like this, you can do that. Also, I feel like my cut crease skills could use a little bit of work still, but overall not too bad. pretty pleased with things. All right, so for the final look using this palette, I think I want to do something that's going to be more green turquoise. The first look I did in my initial first impressions video really focused more on kind of like the gold and neutral colors, like a little hint of green. Today I want to go like full on green because I feel like that's the only thing I have not showcased yet with this palette. So I'm going to start out by putting a little bit of a gentle transition in my crease using the shade Ghibli. I'm just using a little Moda crease brush here. So next I'm going to take the shade Addiction, which is the matte turquoise, on my Sigma E35 blending brush. And I think I'm going to start by concentrating this in the deepest part of my crease and in the outer corner. And actually, you know what I think I'm going to do? Because I want to create a slate kind of cat eye shape, and I'm not going to be able to create an edge with this fluffy blending brush. So I'm going to take this Luxie Precision shader and just pick up a little bit of Addiction on this. And I'm just going to kind of sketch out the shape that I want for this. This color has so much pigment though, holy cow. All right, so now I'm just going back in with Ghibli to blend along that top edge. So now I'm gonna take the shade Rosemary on my finger, and I want to apply this all over the lid. And now I want to go into the duochrome shade here called Play Hard, and I'm picking this up on a little silicone blending applicator because I feel like this shade is kind of a little bit chunky and you need to sort of really like press it into the skin, and this works really well to do that. Yeah, so I'm just gonna kind of layer that in the inner corner over some of that Rosemary shade. Yeah, when you layer this over something else that's also green, the like green reflect in it really pops. I'm also just gonna grab a little bit more on a small pencil brush just to apply this in the inner corner where I need a little more precision. Just gonna go in and kind of perfect and intensify things just a little bit more. Then I'm gonna take one of these little Luxie mini tapered brushes back into that turquoise shade Addiction, and I'm just gonna blend this onto the lower lash line. Then I'm gonna go in with some gel eyeliner on a little angled liner brush. This is a Sigma small angle E65. And I'm gonna line my upper lash line and then create a wing. Okay, and then I'm also gonna go in and line my upper and lower waterlines with a black gel pencil. This is the Marc Jacobs Highliner in a black shade. Then I'm gonna take this little Sigma E21 smudge brush into the shade Nah Black, and I'm just going to smudge that really close to my lower lash line to blend in the liner. All right, so now all I need is mascara and lashes, so let me take care of all of that, and I'll be right back. All right guys, so lashes are on. I also threw on a little bit of lip gloss. This is the new Persona Cosmetics Season 1 lip gloss in the shade Coral, which I thought would be a nice like complement to this green eye. So yeah, this is like a super bold, super dramatic, but I'm really kind of loving it. That duochrome shade, Play Hard, seriously just like makes every look that you use it in. It's just like so shiny and reflective and pretty. I'm just, and love. All right guys, so let me zoom you out so we can wrap things up and I'll share some final thoughts on this palette. So overall, I am really pleased with this palette. First of all, I think the color story is absolutely stunning. It's something that really inspires me and that I really enjoy creating looks with. You have a lot of neutral shades in here, so if you wanted to use this for every day, you definitely could, but then there are so many fun pops of color. So obviously, like as you guys can see with the 3 different looks that I created, you can do something that's really soft and feminine and pretty. You could do something that's smoky and dramatic. You could do something like this that's both colorful and dramatic. There's just like a lot of different ways that you can go with this palette. You don't need to supplement with other shades if you don't want to. And for the price, I feel like you're getting a really good deal here. I feel like Anastasia eyeshadow palettes are around the same price point, and I would say the quality of those is very similar to these. The formulas are not identical, but I think if you like Anastasia's style of eyeshadows, you probably would really enjoy Nabla's. The mattes are super soft and finely milled, but they're very intensely pigmented. I didn't really have a lot of fallout with pretty much any of the matte or fluid metal shades. You do get fallout with shades like Play Hard because they're a bit more chunky, but I feel like it also dusts off really easily and doesn't like stick to the skin because the particles are a little bit larger. So overall, I just found this palette to be very easy to work with. It's very intense, very vibrant. It lasts well on the eyes. Also, the packaging on this is so beautiful. It is a cardboard packaging with a magnetic closure, but the detailing on this is absolutely stunning. It feels very secure, and it's not too bulky either. Like, it's a little bit of a thicker palette, but it's not obnoxious. It's really easy to travel with if you wanted to, so I have no complaints on the packaging front. So if the colors in this palette speak to you, I definitely recommend it and think it's worth the money. Yes, Nabla is a little bit more difficult to get a hold of if you live here in the United States. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they will be coming to a US retailer by the end of this year. I saw them respond to someone on Instagram saying that they were working on it, so that would be amazing. And if these particular shades aren't your cup of tea, they do have 3 other eyeshadow palettes that are really beautiful. The Soul Blooming is the other one that I have, and I love it. It has more pink and purple kind of springtime tones, and that one I highly recommend as well if that's kind of more what you're looking for. So yeah, I think that's it from me today, but thank you guys so much for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed the 3 looks that I created. Definitely let me know in the comments down below which is your favorite one. Also, let me know if you're planning on picking up the Secret palette or if you've already bought it, or if there's anything else from Nabla that you've tried that you love and you want to recommend to all of us. And let me know if you enjoy this style of video, if you want me to continue to do 3 looks 1 palette with some other palettes, what palettes you would like me to do this on next. Your feedback is always super helpful to me. So yeah, on that note, I'm gonna let you guys go, but I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.